won the auction, and they got the key. Now the idea is that money goes to charity. Ann and Kevin, come on up here. Ann and Kevin keep the key for a while, and their obligation is to pass it forward or to find me in my perambulations around the country, and I would pass it forward with and for them. So here, Ann and Kevin, well, I forgot your last name. Winsboro. And here is the key for the city of Niagara, if I remember. So what I want to do is, and just we'll do it quickly and efficiently. What I want to do is have you bid on this key, and the concept of this is you bid some money, that money goes to a charity, and we haven't even worked that out. Charity of your choice, a charity, no, not to your charity, to a charity whose money is they're giving it to, because you gave your money to a charity to you gave it to my horse show. Okay, so they were so kind enough to give it to the charity I've been running for 35 years in Los Angeles. But in this case, you are going to bid and have this for a period of time. We'll figure out how long, 6 months or so, or from here on to 6 months. And your obligation, your money will go to a charity of your choice. Your obligation when you get this is to hold on to it for a while and pass it forward so somebody else bids on it, and that money goes to a charity of their choice. So it's a concept that may work or may not work, but at least some money gets to some people who need it. So here is the key to the city of Niagara with my signature on it, and just give me a sum of money. Just somebody yell out. $5? Let's give me some noise. 10. How much was that?
We got 100.
100. Got 100. Got 100. Got 100. Got 100.
What? 200.
200.
Keep your hand up. Keep your hand up.
Give me 3. Give me 3. Give me 3.
Who wants to go 3?
It's a charitable.
I got 3 in the back.
I got 3. Give me 4. Give me 4. Give me 4.
Stand up. 4. 4.
4. Give me 5. Give me 5. Give me 5. Come on, this side. Give me 5. 5. It's going to charity.
500.
500.
So 400 going once?
No, wait a minute. Going once, but don't say twice yet.
I won't say. All right.
Okay. Listen, somebody bid $1,000 and you got it. Give me $1,000. It's going to charity, a charitable donation of $1,000. Give me a hint. Holy moly, that does it. We got 2,000 here. Kevin, gee whiz, man. Now that'll go to a charity of your choice. Okay, so we've done it. Thank you very much. That's very generous of you. Thank you so much. Okay, we've got it worked out. So now, Kevin and Ann, you now have this for a period of time. What are you going to do?
We're going to follow you around.
That's the best. That's the best. Thank you so much. It's beautiful. Thank you so much. Well, that was brief and good, wasn't it? So charity. Gosh, I don't mind sitting in the seat. It's getting up in front of all of you. Okay. There we go. That was incredible. Suddenly, a charity, probably Covenant House, which is what they were. It was hard to figure out what to do. How do you get that thing going forward? How do you know they're going to pay the money that they said they will pay? So it uncomplicated itself very quickly. That was very nice. So I'll stay on the subject of charity for the moment. About 35 years ago, I ride horses a lot, and I compete with American Saddlebreds, and in the last many years, I've been playing with reining horses. And yes, one person I do reiner. So reiners are it's a skill based on what cowboys used to do with calves when they were inoculating the calves. They would have to pursue the calf, who would run away from the horse and rider, and then the calf might stop, so the horse has to come to a sliding stop. That's one of the moves of reining. And then the calf might dart that way, 180-degree turn, and chase the calf that way, and try and round the calf. That's a fast circle. And then the calf gets slower, and slow circle. And then the calf might dart that way, then change leads and go to the same thing. That's the kind of moves reiners in competition do. So I'm at a reining show, horse show, about 35 years ago, and the people who were running the show said to me, "We're gonna, it's too much work. We're gonna not put this show on." Meanwhile, they were raising money for kids. So I said, "Well, I'll put it on," thinking, I mean, how difficult could it be? Well, it turned out to be really difficult, but I was impelled to do it because I saw a 6-year-old girl on the horse, and she was a thalidomide baby. Years and years ago, there was a drug called thalidomide that women who were pregnant and had morning sickness could take, and it stopped the morning sickness. But it also affected the baby in utero. And so a series of babies came out missing things like legs and arms. Here was this most beautiful 6-year-old child astride a horse with handlers on both sides, with one leg, no arms, one leg. She was holding, God, when I start to talk about it, she was holding the reins with her toes. She had this beautiful face and one leg. And she was smiling, she was happy. And so I started this horse show to benefit children. And then I began to understand that soldiers coming back from the wars had the same problems as these kids: emotional, physical, spiritual. And the horse, which I think it was Churchill, said the outside of a horse is good for the inside of mankind, something like that. But it turns out to be true. So a number of the charities that we benefit with Head with Horses has to do with horse charities. But it gave me an insight, more than I had before, of the needs of all these people. So in 35 years, we raised maybe $400,000 or $500,000 a year. And no, don't do that. What you could do is, instead of clapping, give money to a charity, a charity of your choice. No, applause isn't needed. What's needed is empathy. I mean, what we seem to need in the world today is empathy with people who don't have, or people who are envious of. I think that's what the country is facing, is looking at now. People who have needs that haven't been fulfilled, and people who have been fulfilled who don't recognize there are people who are unfulfilled. So if that means anything, give your $5 to somebody who needs it. And so, but I was going to say, in the 35 years that kind of money, it turns out, on that slow way of doing it over a long period of time, we've raised millions of dollars for children and veterans. Okay. You got a question?
Yes, I
Now,
do.
here's what you got to do. You got to lean right into that mic and speak up.
Okay, my name is Jennifer, and my question.
Hi, Jennifer.
Hi. My question for you is, what is the secret to your longevity? I mean, you're up there. You're not.
I got a pill. I got a pill. I'm going to spelling a pill. I got a pill for longevity. It contains all kinds of strange chemicals. And you
How
want to
much?
buy my pill. No, I don't have a. I just dodder around, you know. I work with this wonderful guy. Gary Hassan, and so you get to be my age, you start forgetting a little, as you may have observed some certain politicians, and so, it's not that you can't you can't speak King's English and make sense of it, but I was Kevin and Ann. That's right, it was Kevin and Ann. And then just before I came on stage, Gary said, "What are their names?" Thinking I wouldn't remember Kevin and Ann, but you see, so there's no recipe. Well, I guess first of all, it's genetic. My sister died recently. She was 97. So there must be some genetic thing. But in studying or reading about why you live, why some people live to become elderly and doddering and forgetful, is the genetic structure of your body, which is given to you by your inheritance. So if your telomeres are long, I go to a show twice a year where people who are attracted to Star Trek twice a year at upstate New York, and there was a scientist in the audience. We were talking about this very subject, and I said, "Well, tell me about telomeres." So he said, "All right," and he was like a PhD in whatever the skill is. I can't remember. And so the DNA is printed on your telomeres, and the telomeres have a cap. So I envisioned a thing, and then a cap on, and your DNA is there, and the reproduction of your cells is conditioned by what's on your telomeres. When the cells stop reproducing itself, or slow down, or produce weaker cellular structure, the cap on the telomeres begins to fall off. So the image I have is there's this cord with a cap on it, and as your cells don't do so well, this cap falls off and you die.
Well, thankful that you're still alive.
Well, thankful. So now you understand this lengthy explanation of longevity has a great deal to do with not smoking and drinking and exercising and being in front of an audience, but also has nothing to do with your intention. Has everything to do with what you have received from your mother and father.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Next question.
Hi, my name's Kim, and my question for you is,
Let's say Kim. Okay, I'll remember Kim.
it's fairly short. So, of all of Captain Kirk's lady liaisons, which one would you want to go and repeat?
Which of those beautiful women in Star Trek would I like to repeat?
Yes, sir.
Well, that suggests that I have something to repeat. Unfortunately, I guess, or for me, not for them, there was, I can't remember that there was any. No, in this day and age, you can't even tell. I mean, I got into trouble saying, gosh, you look great. And you can't say that. What do you mean? You can't say you look great in your wardrobe or your costume or hello, boy, that's a nice dress. You get yourself into trouble. So the mores have changed since you used to be able to say, wow, you look fabulous and not run into trouble. So you have to be really careful about the changing rules of society. And so in those days, you could flirt and it didn't mean anything. And they weren't offended. The ladies weren't offended. Nowadays, I wouldn't know what to do. I have forgotten what to do. Yeah. So I can't, I really there were such beautiful, lovely, talented ladies on that show that it would be hard to choose one. What was the name of the wonderful actress who was in City Across the River? Joan Collins. Joan Collins is a good start. She was beautiful.
Oh yeah. All right. Thank you.
Hello, Captain.
Hello there.
I'm a, I'm a huge Star Trek fan, and I loved you as Danny Crane.
Thank you.
In 2004, you recorded an album called Has Been.
Yes, with
Do you,
Ben Folds.
yes. Do you have a favorite song from that album?
Well, there was a cover song, and help me with the title.
Common people.
Common People, which was very successful. In fact, Common People, which was one of the what was the name of the group that did come? Pulp. So Pulp, the group Pulp, are they still around? Pulp is still there. A group of old people are still playing. We're playing. I'm playing. I'm Pulp, and I'm playing. I can't move my arm very much, but my fingers are stiff from arthritis, and I'm trying to. So Pulp did a song called "Common People," and Ben Folds. Do you know the name Ben Folds?
Yes.
Wow, that's a louder applause than it was for me. So Ben Folds and I did this album that he wrote, essentially, but there was one song that, and I contributed to some of the songs, and there was this cover song called "Common People," and he chose it for me to do. And the reason I remember it, and I presume because the gentleman brings it up, the lyric lends itself to what I do, which isn't quite well. I think of it as singing. A lot of people don't think of it as singing. I don't quite understand that, but there's a musicality. It's called onomatopoeia, which means the word sounds like what it means. Babbling brook. A babbling brook is an onomatopoeia of the words because it sounds like a babbling brook. So Common People had a lyric about this singer, the performer hates this woman, and there was a lot of emotion in the lyrics, which lent itself to the kind of thing I do. Subsequent to that, I began to make more albums, and I have an album out there now called "You Can Call Me Bill," which has received a great deal of praise, and an album for children called "Where Will the Animals Sleep," which received the kind of notices I can't imagine having ever nice things being ever said about something I've done. "Where Will the Animals Sleep" were lyrics by me and Robert Chernow, who's, in my opinion, a genius. We wrote this children's album with a booklet that went with it, "Where Will the Animals Sleep?" along the theme that I speak about quite often, about how nature intertwines. Like, for example, a song about elephants and termites. Elephants and termites. What could the possible connection? I'll tell you. On the prairie, on the pampas, on the level ground, what's the word? What? The savannah. Exactly. On the savannah of Africa, the elephants roam. Now, the savannah is different from the places that are forested because it's like the prairie. It's got grass. It's flat. They go there to eat. But elephants get itchy behinds. They need something to scratch on. And in the woods, they scratch on a tree. But there are no trees on the savannah. What do? Termites live on the savannah. They erect from the mud that's around that they find, they erect a large tower of mud, and it's where the termites live. In fact, it's so intricate that the holes in the tower, some of the termites are lodged in the hole, and they're moving their wings, and the interior of the column is air conditioned, and that's where the termites live and have their babies. And they could be 10, 12 feet high. Along comes an elephant with an itchy behind. And it breaks the tower down, itching its behind. Now there's this pile of mud on the ground, and these elephants are walking around, these big, and eventually a hole begins to appear with this mud that's kind of either it's a special mud or it's mud that's been masticated by the termites, and it forms a watering hole. The rains, there's water, and the elephants move around it, and it gets bigger and bigger over the years. It becomes a watering hole. And animals come to drink, and birds come, and sometimes these birds, which I didn't know for a long time, these alpine lakes have fish in them. How did the fish get there? Eggs, sometimes fish eggs, sometimes cling to the feathers of birds. So the birds would alight at that watering hole, and these eggs might drop off, and then there are fish. Now there are animals coming to eat the fish. Now there are animals coming to eat the animals, and it becomes a whole source of life, all from a niche behind and a termite castle. Is that the wildest? So we wrote a song about it. I mean, and it's a beautiful song. It's gotten the most this album, Where Will the Animals Sleep? Because the chief song, the big song in it, is about if we destroy all the trees and the fauna and the flora like we're doing, where will the animals sleep? It's a song. So next phase, it became so successful. It went number 6 on what's the
Billboard?
name? No. What's the name of the big music?
Billboard.
Billboard. Thank you. Why wouldn't I remember Bill?
It's in your
Board?
name.
Yeah. My name is Board. I mean, a lot of people are. So I don't know where it is now, but at last reading, it was number 6 on Billboard. So I'm making another album. Woo! Yes. So this album, I hope your applause means you'll buy the album. The album. So now I said to the label, Cleopatra, I said, I want to do another album about things that I have loved. Not romance and all, but just things that I love, like my nose. Funny, huh? I love my nose. But why do I love my nose? Because the nose, the air going into your skull is the most proximate to your brain. Your nose is the most sensitive thing about all the senses of your body because it goes directly to the brain. The air you breathe goes directly to your brain. So it's the source of all your, not all your memory, but the nose, the sense, the things you smell remind you, excuse me, remind you of things that you did more instantly than anything else. So the song is about the scent of you, my darling, my love. I love my nose because it helps me remind me of you. And it's that weird kind of songs. I love my health because without health, you can't love. I love my health because I'm therefore have the possibility of loving something else. And that's the whole idea of the album. And the songs are written with by Rob and myself. It's going to be fantastic, but so weird that you may not buy it.
My family loves Shatner Claus. Thank you.
Thank you. Shatner Claus was a Christmas album, and it went high on Billboard too. Thank you so much. Yes, sir.
My name is Trey.
Right up against it.
My name is Trey.
Treg?
Yes.
Yeah.
And my dad and I are big fans of Star Trek V.
Oh
and-
my God! I finally met somebody.
And I wanted to ask, what was the biggest challenge in going from just being an actor in one of the films to also having the responsibilities of director?
Well, I'm in a few weeks. The producer, the guy who runs this show that you're attending, is running another Comic-Con in San Jose. And a few weeks ago, he said, "Would you be willing to come to San Jose and we'll play Star Trek V and then we'll have a discussion?" I said, "Well, geez, I don't know. A lot of things happened on Star Trek V that I've never talked about. I mean, really intimate hates and loves and energies that were really foul. And I don't know." He said, "Well, what the intention is for you and somebody else, three people, myself and two other people, who are knowledgeable about that film, would ask questions while the film is playing. It's like playing while we're sitting here. The film is playing, and oh, that scene, I remember that scene. We did X, Y, and Z. And I, who've avoided, because there's so many weird currents that happened on that film. Not that it's unusual for weird things to happen on a film, because making a film is like finding gold. Everybody in Hollywood who's there for that reason is trying to write, produce, direct, act in a film. So a film becomes a watering hole. Like everybody wants to drink out of the watering hole, but there's only room for a certain number of people. So the lines are coming, everybody gets out of the way to go to the watering hole. So if a great director comes and wants to feed off, oh yeah, you're there. But when a great director isn't there and the watering hole is there, and there's a script that the writer is fed at and now it's beginning to take form. And in the case of Star Trek V, I conceived the idea of Star Trek V, which was Star Trek goes in search of God. We go to find God. We're going to find God. And in the process, we find the devil. We have to fight the devil. We escape and we leave. That's the basic idea of Star Trek V. And they said, "That's great. My God, what a great idea." And I said, "Well, I know a writer. I've read a writer. Three names, can't remember. I'm not old. The writer, anyway, he wrote a series of novels about a guy who was in Tokyo learning to do jujitsu, do martial arts, but felt out of place. I thought, my God, that's Spock. He'd be great to write." So the studio said, "Yeah, go on." I went to New York. I found the writer. We walked the streets. We talked about Star Trek in search of God and to find the devil, and then go down to the river Styx and fight the guy, the watchman on the boat that takes the dead. And we scramble up because McCoy got that. And God, what a picture! What an innovative, great idea! Except, whose God is it? I was asked. I said, "Well, God." They said, "No, there are different gods. The gods, Catholic God, Protestant God, Jewish God, the Buddhist God. Who's God? Because we're going to alienate people whose God you're." Oh, and that's what I faced, trying to make that great idea work. And it all stems from that. Whose God is it going to be? Okay?
Thank you.
I said nothing, really. I just. Okay. Next.
Hi, how are you?
Really?
So-
How are you?
Pretty good.
Really? What's wrong?
Oh, nothing.
Well, pretty good doesn't mean really good. It's just pretty good.
I'm gonna
So,
say
so what's
excellent.
lacking? Where? Why isn't it? I feel great, except pretty good.
I'll say I feel
In
great.
Canada,
Say what? Okay.
I'm Canadian, so I know what people do in Canada. My sisters are Canadian.
Right.
Hi, Joy. How are you? Pretty good. Not bad is what they say. Not bad. What do you mean not bad? Are you bad? And if you're not bad, are you good? Pretty good suggests, I got cancer, but I'm pretty good. You good?
Yeah, I'm great.
You see what lurks in this. What was that great show? What lurks in the. What was that? The demons who lurk in the shadows of man. The shadow knows. You don't remember that radio show? Okay.
No. So my question
Now,
is,
now you're really good, right?
Yeah.
You're effusive. You're virile. You're passionate.
sure.
No, you see, that's what's missing in a lot of people. I mean, we're alive, guys. The sun is shining. You're breathing. It's got to be good, unless you're.
All right.
Okay. What's your name?
My name is Matt.
Mac?
Matt.
M-A-T-T or M-A-C?
M-A-T-T. Matt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, T-T. What's your thing?
All right. My question is, in your lifetime, what has been the
Wait a minute.
greatest-
In my what?
in your lifetime?
In my what?
In your lifetime, your life, since you've been around for a long time.
Not that long. Not that long. I mean, there are people. There is somebody in Timbuktu who's older than I am.
Sure.
Okay.
But I'm
So
assuming-
in my, but I'm
assuming
not
you got a lot of
understanding that
wisdom.
phrase. In my what?
in your life, how about that? Is that
Okay,
better?
that's good.
Okay.
But what was your previous phrase?
I said in your lifetime.
Oh, my lifetime.
Yeah.
Okay. Mac, get that mouth open. In your lifetime.
I think from like a wisdom perspective, I'm sure you have a lot.
Well,
of
what?
wisdom.
Are you having trouble understanding that? Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Slow down.
Okay. So, in your lifetime, what has been the greatest change in society you have observed from either a positive
What is the greatest change in society?
that you've observed from either a positive or negative standpoint?
Well, I mean, there are many, but the biggest that I see is the emergence of television and phones and the what do you call it? Social media. Social media could have been an incredible way of contacting humanity. Look at this. Everybody sees everybody, and everybody has a way of. When you're in a Chautauqua on the phone, you can talk to anybody. You can talk to groups. You can communicate to large numbers of people and send your observation, your love, But instead, what has happened is through the means of anonymity, because you don't have to say who you are. You can say anything. So out of the depths of a lot of people's ignorance or hate or sickness come these hateful things that are being said, and then people react to that and respond and hate. And there's this ferment of distaste on social media where it could have been or it should be an instrument of communication, love, and empathy. And that's been, if somebody says I hate you to your face, so you say, well, why? And then you have this conversation before he pokes you in the eye.
Right.
But on this dismemberment, this distension of my phone on your phone, I don't know who you are. You've said something awful. I've responded awful, and suddenly you're angry and you don't spell my name M-A-T-T. There's one T on my name. I'm Matt, and I'll go to the mat. That's what I've one observer. That and a fast car.
Right.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Right into the microphone.
I'm really short, so I'm going to pull this down.
Yeah, or you could get on your toes.
On my tippy toes?
Yeah, there you go. Look at that. See, now there's a beautiful thing. The guy says, I'll help you. And he helps her, and she's happy. He's happy. There's that, but that takes contact and not the distance of electronic difference. Okay.
All right. Hi, my name is Alicia.
Now it's so short, you have to lean forward.
I always lean forward.
Oh, really? Against the wind?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like a breeze, and
It
you're
keeps me
leaning
from
forward?
blowing over backwards.
Okay.
My question for you is,
Where are you going? She's asking a question. I was in a play, the world of. Hold on, what's your name?
Alicia.
Elisa. I was in a play on Broadway, and the world of Susie Wong, many years ago, based on a novel, and we had a great director, one of the leading Broadway director, and the writer, and even the producer. So it was a play that was made to be successful. And when we finally opened in New York, at that time there were 7 newspapers, and also so opening night is they write their critique. All 7 newspapers said it's the worst play they've ever seen. Okay, so when that happens, you close the next night. Well, that happens all the time. Play is produced, and what's a great play? Hello, Deborah. I was at another play where the actress and I stood on the apron, and it was black, and the curtain was going to go up, and we're standing ready for the curtain to go up, and the audience out there, and she whispers to me, "Are we in a disaster?"
Yes.
And it was a disaster. But in World of Susie Wong, there was an advance of 3 months. Millions of dollars had come into the box office for people who would buy their tickets in advance. So there was a lot of money there that if we'd closed the next night, they'd have to have given it back. They weren't about to do that. So they ran the play. Okay? So now I'm in a play that apparently is, I didn't know it. I thought I was doing great. The front row would get up and leave, like that guy. They get up and leave. And you be, I love you, my darling, and you hear clatter, 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 and the people, oh shit, this is terrible. And they leave. So about a week of that, I said, sit down to the actress. She said, what? And the people went, oh, they sat down. I thought, oh my God, that worked. So every night I began to say, sit down. Whatever the actress, the character's name. Sit down, Susie. And now, Susie. And I began to talk a little more like that. And they sat down. And in the 3 months that we were forced to run, by my energizing what I was doing, I took 15 minutes out of the running time. It went from a turgid drama to a comedy. And it ran for 2 years. That's a true story. Now, I've forgotten your name.
Everybody does.
Everybody does. Now, wait a minute. Why do they forget your name? What?
That's my best friend back there. He said he didn't.
He didn't.
It's Alicia.
Alicia, of course. From Elysian Fields of Beauty. Alicia,
Yes.
why do you think everybody forgets your name?
Honestly, because I answered a hey you.
You answered a pay you?
Hey you.
You answered a hey you.
Yeah.
That's funny, Alicia. You don't have to have a name. It's a hey you.
Hey you, that chick over there. You're standing on my
but
foot.
that's kind of anonymous, isn't it? I mean, everybody's, hey, you. Did you
Yes.
take my picture? Okay, good. Thanks, hey you. It works, doesn't it?
It does.
But it's so unfriendly. So do you get like, is that antagonistic?
No, I'm one of 8 children.
So you're sitting at the dining room table and your father says, hey, you want some more potatoes?
Yeah.
Oh, geez, that's too bad. Alicia,
Yes, sir.
what's your question?
Do you think that
No, I don't. That's my problem here.
the captain
Kirk.
Yeah,
Kirk.
mhm.
The name is Kirk,
The
Captain.
Kirk? Okay,
Yeah.
we're gonna go informal. Do you think that Kirk paid somebody to reprogram the Kobayashi Maru, or do you think he did it himself?
You know, talking about Star Trek V, one of the problems. So I wanted to be iconicalistic about it. I didn't want everybody to do the same thing. And I kept getting, well, my character wouldn't do that. And what do you mean your character wouldn't do that? Your character is what the writer says your character is. That week or that episode of Star Trek is what your character is. Now, that's another aspect of your character. What do you mean your character would? How does an actor say to the writer, my character wouldn't do that? That's what I got something of. Okay? So, what was your question? So would Captain Kirk have Yes. He is such a sneaky character. I got up. I've been sitting there for an hour. I mean, that's stiffening, but guys, I gotta tell you. Yes, Captain Kirk would have reprogrammed what is the Kiryamashu?
Kobayashi.
The Kobayashi
Maru.
Matsu. I can't remember lines that are 60 years old, for crying out loud. I never look at the show. I never look at anything I do, but especially when you're 50 years older. I've had people come up and say, the mothers, Johnny, there's Captain Kirk. And Johnny was looking around, looking at me, looking, over here, kid, 50 years later. Thank you, everybody. It's a pleasure talking to you.